at Bulger Park in Melrose Park, Illinois, opening night of the SSA Class A and B League. And we just showed you a game in which a very short-handed beast mode team unfortunately took one on the chin. Goodwood certainly came out and looked good as they won that game 22-2. And we got a nightcap game here. Woodpeckers versus New Millennium. And Woodpeckers, way back in the day when Johnny Eckert and Kenny Jones in the group had a Woodpecker team, I believe they went out and they won an A national championship. And so these are kind of legacy kids, very young. We saw them a little bit last year. They came out and had a rough go of it, but they're back this year for another year, and they're playing New Millennium. So first chance to see New Millennium and the Woodpeckers. So kind of a mixed bag. Don't know exactly what we're going to see, but it should be fun. You never know with these youngish kind of teams what you're going to get. So leading off for the Woodpeckers is going to be Luke, hey, the Fonz in center, and then Chendo. So for those of you tuning in and looking at this for your first time, this is Chicago 16-inch style softball, 60-foot bases. Can lead off, but you can't steal. 38 feet from the rubber to the point of home plate, 6'12" on the arc. We are playing 1-1 count tonight. We do swing heavy bats up to 38 ounces, 34 inches long, 2 1/4 on the barrel. Because we're playing no glove, the pitcher gets a drag step. That's 1 step left, right, or back. 2 fakes or hesitation. Third arm action must be to deliver the ball home. A throw or a fake to a base is considered one of your fakes or hesitation. Wind has really calmed down out here. It is a chilly night. Here's Luke leading off. And he slashes one the other way, but right at the third baseman. Caught it up in his chest, John. So good ball there by Luke, but hit it right at the third baseman. And moonlighting as a coach over here, the best looking guy in softball, Joey Carbs. So here comes the Fonz. And there's a little soft fly ball, left fielder camped under it, and Reggie makes the catch. So 2 up, 2 down. It brings up Chendo, the third baseman. So we're glad you're tuning in to see these youngsters play. And there's a little inside-out action, but a little flip foul and out of play. It's always interesting when they hear they're going to be on the live stream. They light up, and they get all fired up. I walked by the Woodpecker bench, and they all grabbed their phones to tell their friends and girlfriends and everything that they were going to be on the live stream. So here's the reset with Chendo. Takes that pitch a little deep. And this is where it all starts. A lot of the kids that are, and there's a sky-high pop-up into no man's land, but the second baseman takes charge. Martin, as he got out there, and he made the little semi-over-the-shoulder catch. So we're going to head now to the bottom of the first, no score. But this is where it starts for a lot of kids. Some of these guys will develop into real good players, and then they tend to move on at times. I know people think the big team scavenger kids, but I always found that what happens a lot of times is you'll have a group and they'll be friends, and there'll be 2 or 3 kids on a given team that'll really blossom into great players, and at some point they want to go out and they want to compete and they want a chance to play in the bigger tournaments and events, and they just kind of move on. So it isn't necessarily a big team breaking up a team, but
Wolfpack dropped out. It's about 3 teams, 4 teams on this side.
so New Millennium, it's going to be the extra hitter Walt. Then it'll be Pat and Brandon. Anybody gets on, it'll be Dwayne.
But I think what he did was because he played so late and he was having all these
He got fucking minutes.
So we're glad you could join us as the Slow Pitch Softball Association and SSA broadcasts bringing you every kind of softball you could want. And there's an overhand, beautiful cut. Front of the left fielder throws a little wild and heads up base running, and they called him out. We'll show you the replay on that. So little bang bang there. I kind of want to see where he got tagged here. And I don't know about that. It was a nice job slapping a tag down, but I think he might have got tagged around his rear end. I couldn't see exactly where his hands were. And so now there's a swing and a little flare, and it gets through the right fielder. Pat's going to head to second, and he'll stop there, and he kind of slid off the bag. I'm not sure what kind of shoes he's wearing, but he's slipping and sliding on that base. And, of course, last year at the No Glove, we saw Drew Chavarria slide off a base like that and broke his ankle. So this is going to bring up Brandon, 1 out, 1 on here, for a scoring chance of this very early game here. And of course, we'll be doing the draw for the Westchester Tournament of Champions this coming Saturday at Gulliver's. And also the Cinco de Mayo will be going on Saturday. So we're going to be bouncing all over the place, showing you tournament action and also the draw. And there's a bomb. That gets into the app. That's going to score the first run of the ball game. And they are going to send him, and he'll score easy. So that was a huge bomb there by Brandon. Puts New Millennium up 2-0 as he airmailed one over to right fielder. And Frank started going back, and that ball just didn't come down. So here comes Dwayne.
I ain't got that game either.
And there's a little ground ball to short. Long throw in time for out number 2. So good job there by the shortstop. Stayed down on it. And Luke got it over here. And that's going to bring up Reggie. Or not, excuse me, ML. And there's a strike.
So we bum him, that's double, right?
So right now, both games got identical 2-0 scores in the bottom of the first inning. And there's a 2-out walk as it just clips the plate.
Hey, we don't like what's going on. Give money back. That's great work. They gonna say nothing. He said,
Let me know now.
Y'all won't tell me.
So Reggie draws the walk, excuse me, and here's ML. So 2 outs here, big lead. He'll be flying on the swing. And Reggie takes that pitch a little deep. And that pitch is short, so home plate jumping around here on the pitcher, Joey. And that's a second walk in a row here. And that's going to bring up T. Murph, the pitcher. So New Millennium in a 2 runs in here. Couple of base runners, chance to maybe put up a real crooked number. And that pitch is short, so home plate really jumping around here
I guess. I mean,
on Joey.
but there was several people that wanted to pay.
And there's a little ground ball, and it sneaks through. The third run's going to score. So just a little ground ball. He just pounded it through, and it brings up the second baseman, Martin. So again, the back-to-back walks, one of them scores, and the other walk is standing there at third base. And Martin flips it the other way, and it's going to drop in there. The fourth run will score. So the left fielder looked like he took a step back, and then when he tried to close and come in, it looked like he might have even slipped a little bit. Couldn't get there. And it brings up John, the third baseman. 4-0. So both of the two-out walks have scored. And there's a hard ground ball, shortstop pitch and catch for the third out. So they get out of the inning finally, but 4 runs do score. And we're going to head to the top of the second inning. New Millennium up 4. Hey, what's up, Ref? I know some of you long-time softball guys know who this guy is. Back in the day, him, Kenny Ecke, did a lot of damage. And not necessarily in a good way all the time. Having a little fun with Raph over here. So here's Stefano, Raph Jr., and then Mike. So young Woodpecker team with a little work to do here as they've fallen behind by 4. And let's give a quick shout out to Sweet Buzz. If you're an adult and you use infused products, check them out. They're one of our anchor partners for the Chicago Summer Series. Nick Drabel from Moneyline, one of the owners of that company. Feel free to talk to Nick if you catch him at a softball field. So Tefano going to try to get something started. And there's a swing and a humpback base hit. First hit of the game for the Woodpeckers. They have hit some balls pretty good. And that's going to bring up Raph's pride and joy, Raph Jr. So I assume if he's a junior, he must be Anthony. And Ant swings a little ground ball over the short, long throw, not in time. So good wheels. Shortstop just kind of waited back on it, just a hair. Tried to throw off his back foot, couldn't quite get enough juice on it. And Anthony Jr. with the base hit, so first 2 hitters on. And it brings up Mike. And Mike swings a little end of the bat spinner, lefty second baseman. They do get the out at first, but being left-handed, no real chance to turn a double play there.
Oh, yeah?
So second and third now for the pitcher, Joey. Base hit here could cut the lead in half. And Ant at second's being very conservative. He needs to get off of that base by a couple of steps. There he goes. And still very close to the bag. And there's a pull ground ball knocked down. First baseman does win the race, but a run does score. So that was close, to say the least, but first baseman ML did get there. And there's a little ground ball to third, little bobble throw, can't make the catch, second run scores. So the Woodpeckers. So Dean hit a little grounder, a little bobble there. Tough throw there, couldn't make the play. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Frank. And he hits a little pop-up, and ML is there. But in the inning, Woodpeckers cut it in half, get back in the game, 4-2. Again, we are live from Bulger Park in Melrose Park, Illinois, opening night here, SSA Class A and B League. We're going to be out here tomorrow night, doubleheader when the big boys go. We got a big tilt coming at 8 o'clock tomorrow, or excuse me, 8:30, between Signature and the 45s. And we'll also have a game at 7:15. So we'll have some good ball games. I believe the 7:15 game is going to be the Fat Kids in the 45s. And the Fat Kids are coming along as they keep moving up the ladder. Started out B when A, won the A glove last year. And they are primed to have a pretty interesting year as they continue to improve. So here's the shortstop, Muggs, then it'll be Rich, and the top of the lineup with Walt. So I think here, if you're Joey, got into trouble last inning, he couldn't find the strike zone, and it's been a little erratic. And the game is tough enough without giving free base runners. And there's a little pop-up, and this time the left fielder comes in and he makes the catch. So Muggs pops up to the left fielder, Dean, for out number one. And that brings up the catcher, Rich. Catches a strike there. And there's a chopper handled by the pitcher for out number two. And that's going to get back to Walt. Walt led the game off with a base hit. Tried to stretch it into a double. Got tagged out, sliding into second. And there's another base hit. Last time he tomahawked it but pulled it. That time he threw it more toward the gap. He's a good look at Walt there. It brings up the right fielder, Pat.
2 outs, 2 outs.
So 2 outs here. We are in the bottom of the second inning. And there's a little soft fly ball in no man's land. And it drops. 2 outs there. Walt got kind of a slow start there, and he got lucky there was no fielder's choice there. So that's going to bring in Brandon. So New Millennium here with 2 outs, a little bit of a threat. They did a good job last inning of getting some big 2-out hits.
See, we really did that. He been down.
Again, Joey has been a little wild on the hill. Sometimes a little wild is okay because it doesn't allow hitters to really get comfortable. If you don't know where the pitch is going, they don't know where it's going. And there's a rocket. Oh, nice play on a wicked hop. Good job there by the shortstop. You see here on the replay, that was a wicked hop. And he stayed right with it and got the short out at second. That ball jumped right up on him, but he made a real good job there. So we're going to head to the top of the third, still 4-2.
You got Ramon from the zone, then we got out of the zone. He played with Jackson.
So it's going to be Mike, Luke, and Fonz coming up here for the Woodpecker group. So the opening game's a couple of blowouts, and there's a little fly ball. Left fielder takes charge and made it look easy. Reggie, both of these games in the third inning, 4-2 here, 3-1 on the other diamond. No, is this the 11th guy? What's his name, Vinny? Okay, so they added an 11th hitter before the game started after they gave me the card. So here's Vinny, a little roller to short. Shortstop, first baseman hung in there and made the catch. So hang in there, folks, as I put Vinny on my lineup card. Now they're back to the top with Luke. And Luke, a hard ground ball the other way. Shortstop got a hand on it, but it sneaks through. So Luke hit a line drive his first time up right at the third baseman. That time he hit it hard the other way between third and short. And Luke looks like he could maybe run a little bit. Brings up Fonz. And Fonz, a little bat handle spinner, and he's going to end up with an infield hit. So, and he's laughing. Look at the English on this ball, folks. It just kind of settled right in between the mound and the plate, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you could patent that swing, you'd hit 1,000, folks. So here's Chendo. Chendo right over and hits the bag, and then it skips past the second baseman. 1 run scores. Oh, we're seeing some craziness. Take a look at the action on this ball. Looked like it was going to be a routine out. Doink, and then boom. Doink, boom on that. And it's 4-3 now. And it brings up to Stefano, and he comes through, and we're all tied at 4. And that ball's up the alley. He's going to get a double. They hold a runner at third, but we're all tied at 4. So here's Anthony Raffaelli Jr., 2 more ducks on the pond. And there's a little ground ball. Shortstop a bobble, the wheels. And they call him out on a bang-bang play. That might have been a break for New Millennium. We'll check it out. That saved a couple of runs. It's Anthony Raffaelli running hard. Let's see. You be the judge. And it looked bang, bang. Think he might have just beaten it out. But they score a pair. They tie the game. As we head to the bottom of the third, we're all tied now at 4. And it's going to be Dwayne, Reggie, and ML for New Millennium. New Millennium got out of the gate fast. They had a 4-0 lead in this ball game. And now the Woodpeckers, the last 2 innings, back-to-back innings with 2, and they've tied the game here. And that was a strange little inning to get them 2. You had the little spinner, then you had the doink boom. And just like that, you're all tied up. So here's Dwayne. And there's a swinging a long one going back on his horse. He can't get it. Hit it over the left fielder's head, Dean, and he'll stop at second. Good recovery. Now the ball gets away, and Dean's going to end up trying and making it to third. So call it a leadoff double. He takes third on the error. So they threw the ball in, and it just kind of rolled through the infield. Dwayne had completely stopped. He wasn't planning on going to third, and it brings up Reggie. And Reggie, high fly ball, that's going to be a foul ball and can't quite get there. And that's one of the improvements they made to this park. In the off season last year, home plate used to be about 10 feet deeper. And that foul line used to run almost where the bocce ball courts are. And they slid the infield up. They got more foul territory on the infield. And now the foul line doesn't interfere with anything down there. And there's a ground ball to short. And that throw gets away. Runner going to try to go to second, and he'll make it. So rough start to the inning here as a routine ground ball to the shortstop. And he just kind of hooked the throw. And it allows Reggie to get to second. It brings up ML. And that is one thing you will see in a lot of these younger teams when they play. And that's a little cut, and that's going to drop, and now it skips past the left fielder. Another run scores. And strange things happening in left field this inning. 6-4. New Millennium gets those 2 runs back. Still nobody out here. And it brings up T. Murph, the pitcher. And there's a little chopper up the middle. Anthony Jr. makes the play, and that's the first out of the inning. Brings up Martin, and that's okay. That's what you would call a productive out, as he did move that runner over to third into scoring position. And here comes the second baseman, Martin, now. And they're playing him deep on the right side. Pretty much a ground ball anywhere on the infield except the pitcher should score a run. And there's a towering pop-up. And he lost track of the outs, and that's going to be a double play. So a little bit of a brain cramp there. A little infield pop-up. T. Murph started running, and it turned into an easy double play. Like I said, we're seeing some funny things going on in this game early. We head to the top of the fourth, 6-4. New Millennium. It's going to be Mike, Joey, and Dean coming up here. So we got 6-4 here, 5-3 down at the other diamond. Two games. They've been tracking each other in the sense that it's been basically a 2-run lead for the leader most of the night. So here's Mike, the second baseman. And he slashes it up the middle right to the short center. First baseman can't handle the throw. Leadoff man on. And that's why you always want to run. As you could see, the short center on that play bobbled it. Tried to put a little extra on it and handcuffed the first baseman. And there's a swing and a base hit to center. And he gets in as the center fielder, very aggressive. Was thinking about throwing to get the lead runner, but good hustle, and he gets there. First two hitters reach, and it brings up Dean, the left fielder. And Dean swings, and he hammers it to the gap, and it's down. 1 run is in. 2 runs are going to score. Dean takes his hat off as he flies around the base. It's going to be a 3-run jack. And the Woodpeckers take their first lead of the day, 7-6. And you know that had to feel good. Dean had a little bit of a rough inning defensively, last half inning, and he comes back with a 3-run bomb. Still nobody out, and it brings up Frank. 7-6 here in Melrose.
I got so excited with that, I dropped my hat.
And we are live on SSA broadcast. And there's a little flip to center, and nice job there by the center fielder. He danced with it for a little bit, but he got there for the first out of the inning. So here's the catcher, Mike, with Vinny on deck. And there's a swing off of the short center. He looked like he overran it. Let's see if we can get another look at it. It looked like the short center was going to make the catch, and then the ball was behind him. Almost as if he overran it, you can see. So here's Vinny. I know Vinny was having a hard time reading the lineup card when he was transferring it onto the scorebook. And there's a little slow chopper. They get the out at first. The throw not in time here. As Vinny hustling down the line beat the relay. And back to the top of the lineup with Luke. I'm a little surprised that the Woodpeckers weren't maybe using a courtesy runner for Vinny. 2 outs, will be going on the swing. Towering pop-up. The right fielder is there, and he made the catch. But the first 3 hitters all hit and reach and score. And as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, halfway through, we got a new leader. As the Woodpeckers claw their way into the lead here. So again, we'll be doing the draw for the Westchester TOC next Saturday. Then me and Jerry Brown will be doing a Westchester preview show where we'll break the tournament down, have the bracket, and we may have a few more surprises during that show. And we'll get that on. And, of course, we'll be at the Cinco de Mayo. Draws at 12:30 at Gulliver's out in Oak Brook Terrace. And then Might try to do a Cinco de Mayo game early, and then we'll be out there for the thrilling conclusion. And there's a ground ball, and that's a base hit. So there's a little ground ball up the middle. First two hitters reach.
The way to hustle. You would have never got it if I didn't tell you to move up. I did because he was standing there. Hey, let's go, kid. Three. Get him.
So Dwayne and Reggie are on. I'm trying to think here. I might be in the wrong part of the lineup here. Coach, what's the hitter's name? Rich, okay. I got a little lost. So John and Muggs are on. And here's Rich. So New Millennium coming right out of the gate here and threatening. There's a little slow roller to second. And tough play there. The runner had to jump over the ball. Looked like the second baseman was a little distracted by that. And the bases are loaded with nobody out here for Walt, who's 2 for 2 in the ball game.
I got you. You're good right there.
Right side ball.
And there he hits an over the top, and he gets his third hit. Does tie the game, and now they make the mistake of throwing the ball to second, and they allow another run to score. And that'll drive you nuts. The runners had all stopped. There was no reason for Dean, the left fielder, to throw the ball to second. He just needed to get it into his cutoff man. Instead, he lobbed it and high to second. And the runners saw the ball go to second and get bobbled, and he scored. So Walt, with his third hit of the ball game, he's terrorizing the left fielder out there. And that brings up Pat.
You're good right there. I got your back.
Overtime.
And there's a little roller to second. They'll take the easy one for 1 out. But, again, a productive out. He moves both base runners. Now they got a 2 for 1 shot here to maybe get those 3 runs back. As Brandon and Dwayne, barring a line drive double play, are going to have an opportunity here. So New Millennium has already scored 2. And there's a hard ground ball. Anthony Raffaelli, high throw. First baseman did a good job to climb the ladder and come back down, but it does score another run. It's a 3 spot, so they match the Woodpeckers 3 from the top half of the inning, and now they're a hit away from winning the inning, and it brings up Dwayne.
Come on, base hit. That's all we need.
Oh, what up?
And there's a hard ground ball to short, pitch and catch. That'll be out number 3, but they reclaim the lead as we go back and forth on this seesaw. And we head to the top of the 5th. Pretty good little ball game here. As we've seen some crazy stuff and some good stuff. So this was worth sticking around for. Again, we'll be out here tomorrow showing you the big boys in the major league out here. Fat Kids 45s and 45 Signature. A couple of big tilts. Supposed to be a hair warmer tomorrow. So it's going to be Fonz, Chendo, and Tufano leading off here for the Woodpeckers as they find themselves trailing once again. Takes that pitch a little low. And there's a little spinner, and that rolls foul. As Fonz got way out in front there. So that pitch was going to be short. And there he pounds it into the ground. The shortstop, one knee, gets up and throws a strike for the first out of the inning. So Muggs went to his right there, went down on a knee and came up throwing. So here's Chendo. And he swings a little ground ball to second. Pitch and catch for out number 2. And here comes Stefano. And this Woodpecker team's kind of come along. We didn't show them. And there's a little ground ball to second. And no base. So first baseman got turned around a little bit there. ML couldn't find the bag there as he got out over his skis, had to hustle to get back, and you can see he never really got there. So that's going to bring up Raff Jr. And Raff, a little slow roller, and nicely done for out number 3. So two out base runner, can't do nothing with it. And we'll head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 9-7. So it's going to be Reggie, ML, and then T. Murph coming up here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So again, some of the reports I got, I didn't get a chance to see the Woodpecker team last year, but they did struggle a little bit. But it's always nice to see when a young group gets into a league and maybe they don't have the kind of success they were hoping for, that they hung in there, hung together, and got back in and not playing too bad of a ball game tonight. Here's Reggie. And that other game is blown up a little bit. It's 7-7 in the 5th. And there's a high pop up down the line, and it's foul.
I chopped over.
So you might have heard some of the Woodpecker guys saying let it go because he had 2 strikes and you cannot hit a foul ball. Yeah, I believe you are correct, Michael. I did see a couple of them wearing NXT shirts on the in the dugout, so I believe you're correct about that. So here's ML trying to get something started with 1 out here. And if you are playing in the TOC, and there's a little pop-up, and that's going to drop in short left field. So one out base hit for ML. If you're going to be in the TOC and you're going to be out here at Melrose Park tomorrow, if you're having trouble opening the 2025 SSA roster form, some people were saying they were having trouble with the link, come find me, and I will be out here tomorrow, and I will have blank roster forms. Again, those rosters are due Saturday, so we can get them into the Game Changer. But if you can get your roster to me beforehand, it'd be a great help, so I don't have to hustle to try to get them in and see a little backhand flip pickoff, but runner was already on the bag. So here's T. Murph. And there's a ground ball to second. He'll just come to first, and now he fell down, and that's actually a break. I think if he stays on his feet, he's probably getting thrown out at third. But he fell down, and the first baseman had already thrown to first, so he had time to get back. And again, with the second out at first, you don't want the third out at third base, kids, because with 2 outs, you're running on the swing, and if Martin gets a hit, you're going to score anyway. So it's all about risk and reward, and that's base running 101. You don't make the first or last out at third base. And that ball cut and dropped. Oh, looked like the shortstop, Luke, was going to get there. He had 2 hands on it, and then it took another step, and he dropped it. So the 10th run scores on a little flare into short left center field, and it brings up the third baseman, John. So Luke made a terrific effort. He got out there, just couldn't hold on. And there's a fly ball, and going back is the left fielder, Dean. He makes the catch. We'll head to the 6th, 10-7. So good little ball game here between a couple of teams we don't see very often. Of course, you can see there are some 10 deep guys. They play the late game tonight, I believe. They're out here getting loose.
See, I heard again. Nobody just told me. You already heard me can't afford to lose 15,000. We can't afford to lose 15,000. Big fella. Big more man. What's what I can see this back? Yeah, sit down. Yeah, you already
So it's going to be Mike Joey Dean. And there's a ground ball up the middle, and it sneaks through. Leadoff man on. So Mike, the second baseman, leads off with a hit. It brings up Joey. That ball nicks the plate here.
I'm out. I'm trying to play today.
And there's a strike. And there's a sky-high long run for the right fielder. He gets there for out number one. So it brings up Dean. Dean with the 3-run bomb his last time up. Briefly gave the Woodpeckers a 1-run lead. New Millennium came right back, reclaimed the lead the next half inning. And there's a hard ground ball off the shortstop's hand. And now Dean, a big turn. He's going to have to hustle, but he does get back. Excuse me, Joey. So Dean hit it into the hole. Muggs tried to get there, couldn't make the play. And now there's 2 on here for the right fielder, Frank. And there's a strike. And there's a little infield fly rule. Umpire, I didn't hear whether he called it, but that should have been an infield fly. I think he did call it. 2 outs now for the catcher, Mike, with Vinny on deck. So both base runners, good speed, they'll be going. And there's a little flip into left, but right on the spot, Reggie. And he makes the catch for out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th, 10-7. Looking ahead to the top of the 7th, it'll be 11-1-2. If you're a Woodpecker fan, Vinny, Luke, and Fonz. So if you're New Millennium right now, you'd like to maybe push a couple of runs across and get yourself some insurance. And of course, if you're it's a very chilly night out here, Amalia, so I got a case of the sniffles. These games in this chillier weather are always a little problematic. And there's a swing, a little fly ball, and coming in is the left fielder, Dean, and he makes the catch. So leadoff man down as Woodpeckers just trying to hold it here. And there's a little ground ball to third. Long throw in time. And kids, this is a nice job here by the first baseman. I want you to focus on his feet and watch how he straddled the base and slid once the ball was in the air. See that? Now he can go either way. That's how you do it. You don't want to come out on your front foot. You want to stay back on it. Once you see where the ball's going, you just slide like that. So that was a good job there. So Muggs and Rich go out, brings up Walt. Walt 3 for 3 in the game, and left fielder Dean for Woodpeckers. He overhand cut one toward the line. He overhand cut one toward the gap. And then he just flared one straight away in left field. If you're Dean out there, you're going to have nightmares about this kid. And this time he goes to center and he drops a 2-out base hit. Well, it looks like it's either 8-8 or 9. I think it's 8-8 down there. We were originally going to maybe go down there, but I got all my gear down here in my car, so we elected to stay here. So that's a close game. I like that Ribs team. High infield pop-up, and Tofano comes in, and he makes the catch. So Pep pops up, and we head to a do-or-die top of the 7th. It'll be 11-1-2. Woodpeckers need 3 to keep the game alive, 4 to take the lead. Anything less, and New Millennium will end up winning their first game of the year here in this league. So they are knotted up down there. Here's Vinny. And Vinny's hit a couple of ground balls. He did beat one of them out. And there's his third ground ball. Little bobbled third baseman winds up and throws it way over everybody. And Vinny ends up on second. Third baseman came in. He had all kinds of time. Ball just got away from him. A couple of the 10 deep guys are kind of looking out like, what'd we do? As that ball went whistling past a couple of them. So leadoff man on, top of the lineup now. They need one more base runner to be dangerous. Luke takes that for a ball. And there's another ball. Pitcher in jeopardy here of putting a tying run in the box. Little slow roller and just get him at first. So Muggs charged that ball well through an accurate strike. So that's going to bring up Fonz with Chendo on deck. And there's another ground ball, this time to third, and he faked the throw. I'm not sure why he didn't throw it. He had all kinds of time. He caught it clean. He made a big fake, and then he didn't throw. So that was not quite sure what's going on there by the third baseman. And here's Chendo now. He represents the tie in the box. And he goes toward the alley, and it drops. And now it skips past the center fielder. One run is in. Chendo gets to third. I'm not sure what was going on there. The ball bounced around. 10-8 ball game now. Second and third. Only one out here. It brings up Tofano with Raff Jr. on deck. So 2 opportunities here to tie this ball game up here in the top of the 7th. And there's a bullet base hit. One run is in. And we're all tied at 10. As Anthony Tofano comes through here. 10-10 in the 7th. Huh? Can't hear you. New Millennium. So here's Anthony Raffaele Jr. runner on first. We are tied up now. As this game is heated up very well. And there's a swing toward the gap and confusion. The left fielder cut in front of the center fielder. And the center, now the ball, and they called time. The throw in got away. So that was a sinking line drive. Center fielder was there. He went down to catch it, and the left fielder cut right in front of him, almost hit him, and the ball dropped. So here's Mike, the second baseman now, second and third one out. And they are not too deep in center. They're really not that deep all the way across. I'm not sure if Trofano could score on a bullet. And that ball sneaks past. Trofano going to try it. He'll score. Rath goes to third. Runners on the corner. Woodpeckers score their fourth run, and they take the lead 11-10. Looked like the second baseman was there, but it squirted between a 5-hole there. And that brings up Joey, the pitcher. Now 1 out. Again, first and third. And there's a hard ground ball, and that's going to sneak through. Another run scores. Play at third, safe, and that's going to let the runner go to second. So that's going to bring up Dean. It's now 12-10, second and third. 1 out. They're talking about maybe switching pitchers. New Millennium here on the infield has not been able to make a couple of plays. And the Woodpeckers got some decent team speed. They're taking advantage of that. And here's the left fielder, Dean. 5-run inning here. For the Woodpeckers. And there's a hammer shot base hit. Another run scores. They're going to send the second. No, he slams it. Now he's in a rundown, but he'll get back. Again, the shortstop should have ran at the base runner. Instead, he threw it home, and that allowed him to go back. Coach was sending him. I think he would have been dead meat at the plate. Slammed the brakes on. And that's an example. The shortstop, Muggs, you got to run at that guy. You throw it home, and it's an easy opportunity to get back. And that's going to bring up Frank. 6-run inning here. And there he just pooches it the other way. Little bobble. He beats it out. Another run scores.
Hey, that's a great job. Wait a listen. They said that they're going to foul. Said they're going to foul.
And that's going to bring up Mikey. So he was just trying to advance the runner. We talk all the time, when you do the right thing, you get the bonus. They got a left-handed second baseman, and there's another little pooch ground ball. Throw to third in time, but another run scores. 15-10. And it brings Vinny up. They got 14 on the board. I thought it might be 15. I'll take that off. We'll call it 14, but that could be the wrong score. I thought it was 15. That's what Raph thought. We're going to put that on the board, and I'm sure Raph will talk to the scorekeeper on his way. Here's Vinny. Started this inning, and there's a little flare, and that's foul. Well, let's do the math. Vinny started it. Yeah, that makes sense. 3 outs. I believe it's 15. Do or die, bottom of the 7th coming up. She says 14, but that can't be. Vinny led that inning off. 1, 2, 3. I thought so. Well, Vinny led off. 3 outs. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that should be 15. They'll get it fixed, but either way, even the fans chiming in saying it should be 15. But that makes sense. Vinny led off, and they're hitting 11. So if we take off 3, and he made the last out, so they hit 12. So 1, 2, 3 outs, nobody on base. So they missed a run there, but they're going to get it squared away. I think everybody in the park thinks it's 15. So they'll get it squared away. So we're just waiting here to start the bottom of the 7th. Because I don't believe there was anybody, even if there was somebody left, they hit 12. So if you subtract 3 from 12, that leaves you with 9. If there was one base runner, that means they would have scored 8, and that would have made it 15. Well, Vinny led the inning off, and he made the last out, so that's 12 hitters. Subtract 3, it's 9. Was there anybody on base at 8 runs? It's just math. It's just math. They're asking me, but they hit 12. Minus 3 is 9. One guy left on base, so the other 8 scored. See, they don't teach math today in schools. Okay, so here we go. Do or die for New Millennium. They need 5 to keep the game alive, 6 to walk them off. Anything less, the game is over. So that last inning, that was a tale of a little bit of shaky infield defense. And right now, if you're the pitcher, this is Brandon, leadoff walk.
Can't hit a 9-run home.
So right now, if you're the Woodpeckers, you're just trying to take outs off the board. You want to make the easy play, and you don't want to walk anybody. So now home plate jumping around here a little bit on Joey. And did he call that illegal? Kenny Jones going to come out and talk to his young pitcher.
Hey, don't worry about it,
There are actually guys out there that can look at a box score, and if you tell them who made the last out of the game, can run the entire game backwards and tell you what happened in every inning. And back-to-back walks, so right out of the gate here, Joey's struggling a little bit. Brings up Reggie as the first two hitters reach. And again, you're up 5, so you want them to hit the ball. They might hit it at somebody. And there he grabs a strike. But I like that approach by New Millennium. You're down 5, and there's a soft fly ball that's going to drop. And they throw it in. Bases are loaded. So here comes New Millennium. Again, those 2 walks looming big. And now bring up ML with T. Murph on deck. And I don't know what they're doing here. They're trying to get somebody ready. I think they got the third base coach. He's going to take a swing. Again, you're up 5. Even a grand slam doesn't give New Millennium the lead. So if you're the Woodpeckers, you're just hunting for an out here. And again, home plate right now escaping Joey. And he's falling way behind. He's in jeopardy of walking a run in and putting the tying run in the box. And there he grabs a strike. But I like this approach. You got a pitcher who's struggling to throw strikes. Make him throw strikes. And ML, a little ground ball up the middle. He steps, he throws, double play. It'll be 2 outs. A run does score.
Ball folk.
Big double play, and there was a little contact. It's a nice job by Raffaelli Jr. He stepped on it. Looked like there was a little bump there. He got it off, and that takes some of the pressure off now, as there's only 1 base runner on base. And that is the absolute worst place to hit the ball in that situation, right up the middle at a short center. And there's a high fly ball going back. The right fielder makes the catch. And after the bases loaded with nobody out, you can see the Woodpeckers had a rough year last year. They're out of the gate 1-0, and they are ecstatic. The young kids pick up a win, 15-11. So pretty good ball game. We hope you enjoyed it. And for those of you who wanted to maybe see Gio do a 3rd game in a row, I'm a little cold, and my back's tightening up. So we're going to call it a night here from Melrose. On behalf of SSA Broadcast Sweet Buzz, this is Gio saying check us out tomorrow night. We'll be back here with some big dogs button heads. Catch you later. Be safe. We love you.